came to Glide in a really kind of broken state. I remember thinking, do they know who I am? I mean, and why are they, they're willing to hug me. They take me just like this. And it was really powerful. Something broke inside me. And I thought, wow, these people will accept me for just who I am.
Everybody deserves to be unconditionally loved. Even the people that I might think, I don't agree with at all. But I think I probably had to do the work on myself. I had to learn how to unconditionally love myself to begin to understand where they may have come from.
You show up time and time again, they still love you. You keep waiting for the shoe to drop, like, okay, but here's what you have to do, and that never came. It was like this transition of loving me until I could love myself, filling me up with love until it started to pour back out, and now me just being able to love others until they can love themselves.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Glide Memorial Church Celebration Online. Glide Memorial Church is a radically inclusive, open and affirming, extravagantly welcoming, justice-seeking, and unconditionally loving church where everyone, wherever you are on your spiritual, your recovery, your community journey, is welcome. We welcome you to this celebration. Glide Memorial Church is physically located on the corner of Taylor and Ellis in the Tenderloin district of San Francisco. But like a lot of faith-based organizations who are virtually a part of this dispensation and out of our houses of worship, we are worshiping and gathering online in the virtual sphere. I would like, if you are a first-time visitor to this Glide Memorial Celebration online, for you to raise your hand or for you to stand up in the chat right now. Let folks know that you're there. Let our folks greet you and hug on you virtually. And now we're going to provide a link in the chat that will allow you to sign up for our newsletter and a way for you to stay connected with us. So if you're a first-time visitor, please stand up and please sign up for our church newsletter and be a part of this community going forward. Today's church service, today's worship experience, today's community gathering, today's celebration is supported by our CEO and president, Karen Hanrahan, our co-founders, the Right Reverend Cecil Williams, and San Francisco's former poet laureate, Janice Mirikatani, our board of directors, our lay leaders, our senior leadership, our congregational life leaders, our frontline social justice, social service, and spiritual frontline workers, and you. And you are welcomed here. I would like you to get some pen and paper ready because during my sermon, we're going to do a little writing together. No, it's not a test. We're going to be writing our stories and our histories down together in this working sermon experiment. So please get paper and pencil or whatever your writing utensil is ready for our sermon today. My name is Marvin K. White. I'm your minister of celebration. Welcome. Our virtual prayer basket is now open in the chat, and you're invited to ask for prayers for anything and anybody. If you would like prayers for yourself, it's as simple as just typing in the chat right now, me. Just type me in the prayer section and we will lift your name up in prayer every Wednesday night that you do that in our prayer circle. So write me, but if you would like to put in prayer requests for your friends into the virtual prayer basket, you can do that too. For your friends, for your family, for your block, for your neighborhood, for your city, for your state, for your country, for this world, for our natural resources, for peace, whatever you want prayer for, put that in the virtual prayer basket right now. I would like to add some prayers to the virtual prayer basket. I want to pray for and bless and celebrate Rick Ross and Nora Piramini for their birthdays that are happening really soon. I would also like to wish Martin Soto a very happy birthday and put all three of them in the prayer basket and celebrate them. I also want to make sure that we lift up in prayer and continue to pray for Cricket, her family, and her grandson. I'd like to add my nephew Justin and my niece Jordan. I'd like to add Dr. Betty, Dave Richmond, Kay Foster and her sisters, Jack Jacqua, Kathleen Clancy, Michelle Collins, Joan and Jane, and all of you are always in my prayers all the time. And I put you all in the prayer basket right now. Tatiana Tilley will now lead us in our community prayer.
Thank you, Marvin. Good morning, Glide family, and welcome to this beloved community of recovery, this place where each and any of us can stand and recover our own individual authority so we can all heal together. As Marvin said, please in the comments, put the names of your friends and your family and yourself if you're in need of prayer. And I'll say and sing part of a prayer so you have a moment to write whatever you want. Dear Mother, Father, Great Spirit God, I would like to thank you for speaking with the people you talked to about getting the Black Lives Matter movement nominated for the 2021 Nobel Peace Prize. Because those 3 Black women founders, 2 of whom are clear, I just want to say thank you for that. And please know that I have issues with the prize names founder, but I'm grateful to see those women and that movement get the recognition and the support. And Great Spirit, as we head into Black History Month, please lift up this entire congregation and all congregations, especially our Black leaders and Black brothers and sisters, many of whose ancestors fought and have been fighting for self-authority for centuries. Please help us hear and amplify all the prayers. May we be humbled by the sacrifices of those who have come before us. And may we be forever encouraged by the prayers of those who believed that each of us is a prayer fulfilled. I would also like to ask that you give the person who hears this prayer, who really wants to lead the Glide community prayer, but thinks they can't do it for whatever reason, please give them the courage so that they call Matt or Joan and get themselves on the schedule. And may they know that we need their voice and their prayers too. And a bunch of us hope that you are giving Cicely Tyson a very warm welcome, because we will miss her here. The Lord is my shepherd, I have all I need. She makes me lie down in green meadows, beside the still waters she will lead. She restores my soul, she rights my wrongs. She leads me in a path of good things and fills my heart with songs. Even though I walk through a dark and dreary land, there is nothing that can shake me. She has said she won't forsake me. I'm in her hand. She sets a table before me in the presence of my foes. She anoints my head with oil, and my cup overflows. Surely, surely goodness and kindness will follow me all the days of my life, and I will live in her house forever, forever and ever. Glory be to our mother and daughter, and to the Holy of Holies, as it was in the beginning, is now, and ever shall be, world without end. Amen. Hallelujah. Right on. Shalom. Salam. Namaste. Ashe. And blessed be. And now for our community song, please sing along.
This is our community song. Come on, put your hands together, words on the wall. Aren't you glad somebody prayed? Somebody prayed for me. Had me on their mind. Took the time to pray for me. I'm so glad they prayed. Oh, yes.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm so glad somebody prayed for me. Someone's praying for you. Someone's praying for this community. Somewhere, someday right now. We just love our Glide community and how it prays for every single person. Thank you, Tatiana, for that prayer. And as we move into this section of our celebration of community embrace, we want to embrace our thoughts, embrace our friends, and embrace our families, embrace people that we don't know, and just embrace the humanity of being human. And I want to just take this little time just to play a little something, and let's just reflect and embrace in our minds. Here we go. Music is such a refresher. It's sunshine to my soul. I hope it's sunshine to your soul. Music just gets us through everything. And at Glide, music is just one of those things that is a powerhouse. And it just brings me so much joy to introduce this first singer. He has been singing with the Glide Ensemble for a while now, and he's been sitting in the back, just giving the support to the bass section. And I am so happy that he is stepping forward. And I want you who are at home to flood the comments with your love, because this is the first time he's singing for Glide and singing his song. His name is Derek Orth. He did the prayer last week, and I am excited that he's actually singing this week and going to sing a solo. And following his solo, we're going to have a song by the choir called "Blessing in the Storm." And Lord knows we have to look sometimes because we don't see the blessing, especially with all this turmoil and all these things that are happening. Sometimes we forget and we can't look and we can't see. So the Glide Ensemble is going to remind us that there is a blessing in the storm. And following that tune is one of our favorites. It's Time for a Miracle, led by Dennis Hersey. But first, let us hear Derek Orth sing his song. Come on, Derek, sing your song.
Thanks so much, Vernon. I really appreciate that intro. Hi, Glide family. I'm going to be doing a song by Jeff Tweedy of Wilco. He wrote for the great Mavis Staples. And I want you, if this theme of this song feels appropriate to you, if you felt this way at any point in the last 10 months or so, I want you to let it sink in, because I think it can be really healing, and know that we're all together. So here we go. You're not alone, I'm with you, I'm lonely too. What's that song that can't be sung by two. A broken home, a broken heart, isolated and afraid. Open up, this is a raid. I wanna get it through to you. You're not alone. You're not alone. Every night I stand in your place. Every tear on every face tastes the same. A broken dream, a broken heart, isolated and afraid. Open up, this is a raid. I wanna get it through to you. You're not alone. An open hand, an open heart. There's no need to be afraid. Open up, this is a raid. I'm gonna get it through to you. You're not alone. I'm gonna get it through to you. You're not alone. I'm gonna get it through to you. You're not alone.
When I cannot hear the You pressed your way in the midst of the crowd, came in anyway, even though you weren't allowed. No, no, no. I can hear you say within yourself, if I can just touch Jesus, I don't need a touch from nobody else. It's your time for your miracle. So don't you be discouraged. Don't you be dismayed. For you've not been denied. No, no, no. It's only been delayed. It seems it may not be your turn in life, but don't you get discouraged. Stay in the light. It's your time. The miracle. All you gotta do is touch. Just touch the hem of his garment. Your miracle will come. Your miracle in a moment. You gotta believe that he will do it. Your faith will move you to it. Your faith will move you to do it. Just touch. Just touch the hem of his garment. It's all in your faith. Your miracle in a moment. If you have the faith the size of a mustard seed, believe he will do it. Your faith will move you to it. Your faith will move you to do it. It's yours. Your miracle. It's all in your faith. Your miracle. Reach out. Your miracle. Don't let go. Your miracle. It's yours. Your miracle. All you gotta do is have a little faith. Just a little faith and he'll do it for you. It's yours. Your miracle. You got it coming to you. It's yours. Your miracle. It's your time. For your miracle. It's your time. It's your time.
Oh, the miracle. So happy to be here with you all. And I am excited for the day when we're back live with Dennis and Derek and Tatiana and the Glide Ensemble and all of you. I'm so grateful to be here sharing on Black History Month Eve. Thanks for being here with me. You know, upon walking through the doors of Glide for the first time in 1998, I fell in love. I loved the incredible mix of people, the action orientation, the pace, the pageantry, the music, the message, the people of color leadership. I love that I immediately knew I was embraced, which was hugely important as a new to the Bay Area queer transplant. I was not particularly looking for a faith community. Church was a big part of my life from birth. Coming out in a conservative part of the world made aligning my queer identity and church life challenging in the late 80s. But I found a lovely, embracing church after moving to Illinois for my first job after college, and I had and knew of other positive church experiences, and certainly knew moving to the Bay Area that I would have options. But I was not actively looking. My sister went to Glide first and immediately called and said, "I just went to church in the Tenderloin, you have to go." So we made a date of it. Walking into Glide was lightning in a bottle magic, as I know many of you have experienced. I've been thinking about that a lot lately. Why Glide? What about it? For me, particularly for me as a white person, why was I drawn here, and what do I need to learn and heal? As many of you have heard me say before, I kept my Glide life minimized for the first 18 years, attending celebration a handful of times a year and maintaining my monthly pledge. But that was it. After the 2016 election, I started showing up regularly, not really conscious about why, but just that I needed to. This led me to join Different Together, which is a congregational group that reaches out to folks outside of Glide and holds conversations across partisan and other divides. I now help facilitate Different Together sessions with Chris Collins, who is the Different Together founder, who, by the way, just wrote a book called Mending Our Union, based on his experience with Different Together. He's not a self-promoter, so I took this chance to let people know about it. Different Together is the hard work of figuring out if we're really going to talk with each other and live together across our differences. That can be so overwhelming in the intensity of our current culture and environment of deep silos. And often the work is exhausting and frustrating. But I truly believe in Cecil's vision. Glide equals unconditional love. To be part of this community, I have to do my part and step up. Last June, as a response to the murder of George Floyd and the Black Lives Matter surge, Pam Noley started Glide's White Anti-Racist Group, which we affectionately call ourselves WAG. I quickly jumped in, and it has truly been transformative. A group of 25-ish folks gathers virtually every Friday at 4:30 to work on what it means to be white folks in a country literally built for us on the backs and lands of people of color. We work to turn and face the painful truth of our racist past and present, and the ways in which our white skin affords us ease and access. And we work to figure out how we're going to be different and be better. On the eve of Black History Month, I am grateful we have space to spotlight Black contributions to our collective history. And I hope perhaps the month will become less necessary for my young niece and nephews, kids and grandkids, our future generations. Perhaps we will collectively decide whitewashing our history books holds us all back. We have to tell the truth in order to heal and have the chance to be our best selves. This is what Glide teaches. Unconditional love gives us the space to heal and be better. So as I think about Glide and me, as a white person, I am grateful for this space founded and led by people of color. Glide allows me to more fully love myself and keep growing my capacity to love others. I am winning, and I am Glide.
Thank you so much, Winnie, for your witness and for your testimony, for getting Glide on you so many years ago, and for letting that seed germinate until it brought you back here in the time that you were ready to be here. And we appreciate the ways that you show up here. The work of Different Together Everybody really proves that we want you to show up as who you are. And we want to add you to this amazing, diverse community of folks who can only survive and thrive if we all show up. And so we're asking you to show up in your fullness. And if you have stuff to work out, remember, we're a community of folks in recovery. And so you don't have to show up perfect. You don't have to show up, bow tied and tight clothed. You just show up as you and be a part of this community and be open to transformation that is in public and also held in unconditional love, like Winnie said. And what we're going to ask you to do right now is give to this church and to this movement, where the next Winnie is surely waiting outside, needing to come into a community like us, where they can be held by you and me and everyone else in the church, and they can continue on their journey to healing and recovering, because that's what we do here at Clyde Memorial Church. We open the doors wide and welcome you in extravagantly. And if you want to help keep those doors open, we're going to ask you right now to give. There's a link in the chat section that will show you how easy it is to give. You can give once, or you can sign up to be a monthly giver where it comes out of your bank account. No fuss, no muss, just set it and forget it. So easy. But if you believe in this ministry, in this movement, in this community, we're going to ask you right now to give and give generously. Thank you so much for what you gave and from where you gave. We're going to have one more song from the incomparable Vernon Bush, our musical director of the Glide Ensemble, and then I'll come back for a very special word today.
Thank you, Minister Marvin. As we go into this last song that I'm going to sing, I have special attachment to this song because when I first heard this song, it wasn't by the Glide Ensemble, but it was actually by the late, great James Cleveland and the Southern California Community Choir. That was a mainstay in my upbringing, my father's house. We listened to that music, and I do remember this song. And when I first heard it at Glide, I said, oh, yes, great song, wonderful song. God is my all in all. And that's all I'm going to sing. God is my protection. God is my all in all. God is my light in my darkness. God is my all in all. God is my joy in my sorrow. God is my all in all. God is all my today and tomorrow. God is my all in all. God is the joy and the strength of my life. He moves all pain, misery, and strife. He promised to keep me, never to leave me. He never ever falls short of his word. I fast and pray, stay in the narrow way. He is my life each and every day. I wanna go with him when he comes back. I've come this far and I'll never turn back. God God is my all and all. Oh, God is the joy and the strength of my life. He moves all pain, misery, and strife. He promised to keep me, never to leave me. He never ever falls short of his word. I fast and pray, stay in the narrow way. He is my life each and every day. I wanna go with him when he comes back. I've come too far and I'll never turn back. God is, oh God is, oh God is, God is my all and all. God is my all and all. Ooh, God is my all and yeah, yeah. Oh, God is my all.
Thank you so much, Vernon. You know, that's one of my favorite songs. God is, because it leaves a space for us to define what God is to us. I love the God that we inherited from our ancestors, but we get to decide in a very present, in a very contemporary way, what we need God to be for us specifically. Not my mama's God, not my grandmama's God, but the one that I need to be present in my life right now. We get to fill in the blank of God. God is what to you, and what do you need God to be? So definitely one of my favorite songs. I want you, and I want to invite you to participate in the sermon like that, in a new way. I want you to fill in the blanks. I want you to write in the chat, in a Word document or on pencil and paper, responses to the sermon prompts that I am going to share with you. I want to get you ready for Genealogy Month. I want you to be in practice of telling your own stories. I want you to own your stories. I want you to stand up to the bully stories and watch the histories just retract when you confront them. Mark 1:21 and 22 speaks of Jesus and the disciples going to Capernaum, and how when the Sabbath came, Jesus entered the synagogue and taught. The people of the temple were astounded at his teaching, for he taught them as one having authority and not as the scribes. I love this story because it reminds us that it's not the one who writes about us, who tells the story of us. They're not the authority. We are the authority of us. We are the author and the authority of our own stories. That's why we have to own our stories. This Black History Month and this genealogy research we're going to embark on is for all of us here at Glide, Black and white, straight and gay. young and old, rich and poor, blue and white collar, artist and academic, for all of us to learn how to stand in our truths. I wrote the other day for our celebration sessions, our Facebook Live event with our genealogist in residence, Alex Traps Chabala, that this month we would be having intimate conversations between you and Alex and all of our combined ancestors. We're gonna write and share our stories today. In my creative writing workshops, I usually begin with a prompt, and I invite you to write in the chat or in a Word document or on pencil and paper, a response to the prompt, I come from a long line of. Now that prompt now appears in the chat section. So we're gonna respond in writing to the prompt, I come from a long line of. Like, I come from a long line of women who fill in the blank. I come from a long line of fill in the blank people. I come from a long line of truck driving people who fill in the blank. I'd love for you to introduce the people, the ancestors, the great cloud of witnesses that you brought with you into this celebration today. Write down who you came from. Me, I come from a long line of quietly powerful women. Women who cried as last resort, women who loved babies more than they loved men. I come from a long line of charismatic men, men who could shoot dice and shoot pool to raise rent money. Write down, I come from a long line of, you fill in the blank. I come from a long line of boys who were taught to be men by women. And I come from a long line of Jehovah's Witnesses who didn't witness nothing. Write in the chat, in a document, on your computer or on pencil and paper, who you come from and who they come from and who they come from and who they come from. And if the map is erased in your imagination, think about who you are and know that who you are is probably who they were. You are not the first of y'all to move, be, and act like you. So in the chat, on a piece of paper or on your computer, write from the line, I come from a long line of. And that prompt is in the chat right now. We're just gonna give a few seconds for you to write it down and write something down. Now, I'd like you to consider and share the story. What did it take for you to get here? What did it take for you to get here physically, emotionally, mentally, creatively, wholly and wholly here today? Here to celebration, here to your family, here to your meeting, here to your life, here to your possibilities. In the chat or on your computer or on pencil and paper, write from the prompt, what did it take for you to get here today? Go ahead and start writing. It took time. It took hitting a million walls. It took learning that I can't walk through walls. It took running scared, but running still. It took moving to New York at 21 and coming home at 23. It took people who were my post signs and my signposts pointing me towards life. It took caregiving for my grandmother and my mother. It took learning that caregiving is not sacrifice. Write in the chat, on your computer, or on a piece of paper, what it took for you to get here. That prompt is now in the chat section. Did it take courage? Did it take someone else? Did it take fill in the blank? What did it take for you to get here today in life or to this point? Write it down. I'll give you a few seconds. Now, please tell us who you are in the chat, in a Word document or on pencil and paper, and respond to the prompt, who I am is. That prompt is in the chat right now. Who I am is radically different from who am I, which is you asking someone else to tell you who you are. So I'm talking about your declaration. And the thing about declaring who you are is if you ever act outside of the thing that you say you are, your community can hold you accountable, can let you know that you're not acting like the thing or the person you said you were. If you said you were free and you acting like you're in bondage, we're gonna let you know and come looking for you. And if you are in the bondage section, we will know something is very, very wrong. And we will ask you if this is who you are now. If you are not in bondage, we will remind you that you told us you were free. If you say you are loving but are exhibiting hatred, we will let you know that hatred is not you because you said you were loving. Same with freedom, same with life. Whatever you say you are, we will hold you accountable to that. So who I am is rooted, who I am is funny, who I am is someone who brings joy, who I am is a brave soul. And if I am ever acting outside of those things and you don't recognize that, you let me know. Who I am is, that prompt is in the chat right now. And I want you to respond to that in writing. Very good. Now, in the chat, in a Word document or on paper, we're gonna write from the prompt, I came to free my people from. That prompt is now in the chat section. I came to free my people from. Write these down or email us and we'll send them out to you again. But think about everything that your ancestors ran from, ran to, had stolen from them. Think about the ways that someone made them feel limited and less than. And what is the thing that has been passed down from generation to generation unnoticed that's now sublimated somewhere in your body? We have always voted this way. We have always had blue eyes, yes, but is the genetic introduction of blue the blessing or the curse? We have always thought about women this way. We have always thought about Black people this way. We've always thought about gay people this way. Everybody in my family feels this way about poor people, about rich people, about church people, about artists, about old people, about young people. That's just how our family has always been. And it's there in the just how my family always is, that's gonna stop with you today. So I came to free my people is the prompt. I came to free my people from low bar dreams. I came to free my people from failure to thrive. I came to free my people from sexuality secrets. I came to free my people from the fear of being powerful. In the chat, in a Word document, or on paper, respond to the prompt, I came to free my people. Excellent. Now that we know that history has often been lacking in nutrients, has left us hungering and thirsting for something unnoticed and unnamed and unknown, now that we know that there are holes and gaps in our stories and our histories, what will you fill your history with? How will you make sure that you actually have a whole truth of your family? That you have spell checked and checked all the spells that you know of. In the chat, in a Word document or on pencil and paper, write from the line, I will fill the holes and gaps in our story with blank. I will fill the holes and gaps in our stories with. What will you fill it with? That prompt is in the chat right now. Please respond to it. I will fill the holes and gaps in our story with recovery. I will fill the holes and gaps in our story with more husbands than baby daddies. I will fill the holes and gaps in our story with fine print readers of all contracts that my ancestors were tricked into. In the chat, in a Word document or on paper, respond from the prompt, I will fill the holes and gaps in my history with. That prompt is now in the chat. Thank you, Reggie. So just a couple of seconds, write it down. Now, In the chat, on whatever you're writing, write about the role of history, historic events, natural, political, and economic events, and how they change the course of your family's story and family's history. From the prompt, we survived. Simple as that. Write down what your ancestors survived. The prompt is in the chat right now. We survived. We survived a dynamite explosion on my father's side. We survived back and dirt roads in Louisiana. We survived lean days that turned into lean weeks and lean months and lean years and lean decades and lean generations. In the chat, in a Word document, wherever you're writing, write from the prompt, we survived. Write it down. Write down your story. You see, we just participated in our decennial, our every 10-year census where we were counted. We just voted in a historic election. Our W-2s are on their way to us, as well as our 1099s. What we're doing today will be the future record of us. So what are you on record as having done or said in the face of racism, homophobia, misogyny, ageism, anti-poor, anti-rich, anti-religious, anti-democratic sentiments? In the chat or wherever you are writing, write from the line, I spoke up for. The prompt is, I spoke up for blank. What did you stand up for? I spoke up for, you let us know what you have spoke up for. What did you speak up for? Maybe it's radically different than what your family has spoken up for. I spoke up for the unhoused. I spoke up for believers. I spoke up for American descendants of slavery. In the chat or wherever you're writing, please respond to I spoke up for. That is the prompt. It is in the chat right now. You see, we have to know for ourselves who we are rather than being told and sold who we are. We have to know what the implications of the times our ancestors were living high on the hog and when they were wiped out by dust bowls and boll weevils. We have to know who they made money off of and how, and what does that mean for our relationship to wealth and to money. We have to know who left who and who loved who and what is left for love in our DNA because of our ancestors' stories and choices. Our histories think that they are doing us a favor by hiding and glossing over the seemingly bad parts of our family stories and the plain old weird relatives that they keep hiding that are on your daddy's side. But if we want to know how we got to be the shape that we're in now, we have to trace around the best and the worst of our ancestors' stories. What did they leave behind? What voices are still crying out to us? This month and going forward, we have to trust the ways that we know to work to locate each other and the each othered. And maybe when we find our people who are asking us to recognize their selfhood and their humanity, we recognize that we might ourselves one day require someone to come looking for us, to be a witness for us, to tell our stories. Someday, somebody is going to have to testify on our behalf, say they saw us coming, say they saw a record of us somewhere. And maybe when we realize that the person buried in history, the person standing in line for food, the person in need of acknowledgement of their existence might be called one day to take the stand for us. That is where we will find ourselves and our stories and our histories in that truth that we have been sharing. Maybe when we realize the answer to the ontological question, who decided who gets to exist? Who made us the other? And who said you have to believe them? Who said that our belonging and our stories and our histories are being made in vain? One day, beloved, somebody gonna remember your story before they remember someone else's story about you. Same with your smile, same with your laughter, same with your body, same with your dreams, same with your life. Did you know that your dreams belong to you? And if they belong to you, then you get to control your awakening. And when you are in control of your awakening, then you get to be a part of your own enlightenment and your own renaissance. That's your story. Belonging and storytelling and history is beyond Old and New Testament. It's a new thing, and we're living into the evidence of that now. We are the first collection of a new book of the Bible, a Bible that belongs to us, is about us, written by us, for us, where our name be witness. Amen. Thank you so much for joining us here today. We are so happy that you have decided to spend your morning and afternoon with us. I want to read to you some announcements or share some with you. First, I want to acknowledge in our public imagination the deaths of some of our favorite entertainers and historical figures. We lost Hank Aaron, we lost Cloris Leachman, we lost Cicely Tyson, and we lost a lot of stars actually that are among our congregation right now. But what we have gained are these amazing ancestors now available and accessible to us. I want to remind you that you can watch Sunday Celebration on Facebook Live, on YouTube Live, and also by going to the glide.org webpage, where we can direct you to the Sunday Celebration there as well. If you would like to listen to Sunday Celebration, you can subscribe to our celebration call line, where this service will call you every Sunday, and all you have to do is pick up the phone and celebration will be played through your phone, and you can just listen that way. We also want to invite you to our congregational life groups and all of the amazing opportunities that we have that you can participate in. All these links are going to be in the chat right now. So please, please, please go to the chat and stay in the chat and get all of this information. Like today we had Glide Kids at the 11, and if you want your kids to participate in next week's Glide Kids, you should email the church at churchgroups@glide.org and enroll your children in our Glide Kids program, where they will have fun and sing songs and talk and tell stories with Kristen and Buddy and all of the great, amazing Glide teachers. We also have every Sunday at 1 p.m. Keeping It Real with Pam and William. And Keeping It Real is our community recovery group. What do you have to recover from? Everybody is in recovery from something, whether it's workaholism or alcoholism. Whatever it is that is keeping you from living into the fullest version of yourself, you can be in recovery for that. And that's at 1 o'clock every Sunday here at Glide. Ongoing, we have meditation on Mondays, racial justice on Tuesdays, Bible study on Tuesdays hosted by me, yoga on Tuesdays, not hosted by me, but still amazing. We also have the Congregational Life Dinners meeting on certain Tuesdays of the month. On Wednesdays, we have Prayer Circle. On Thursday, we have Speak Out, our community open mic, and also another yoga session. On Friday, we have the amazing white anti-racist group, WAG. On Saturday, we have yoga and Glide Reads. On Sundays, of course, we have Sunday Celebration at 9 and 11 live. And then we all gather for fellowship time in Freedom Hall directly after the 9 and 11 a.m. celebration. We also have Pride team meetings. And I think the next one is coming up this next Sunday. So please, all of this information is in the chat right now. So make sure that you get it all and let us know what you're interested in. If you're in need of prayer, we're going to provide you with a prayer link that you can submit a prayer online anytime during the week that you want to. That it closed in the chat today does not mean it's closed all week. We will continue to accept prayers and add them to our growing prayer list for our Wednesday night prayer circle. If you need any information about our liberation and split from the UMC, there is a webpage on our website that will show you and share all the information you will need to know about what's happening there. We also have some special events coming up. Like next Sunday, we're celebrating our co-founders, the San Francisco former poet laureate, Janice Mirikitani's birthday. We're gonna have some very, very, very special treats for her on Sunday. So we want you to show up. And one of those is we're gonna introduce the new San Francisco poet laureate, Tongo Eason Martin, to Janice Mirikitani, our former San Francisco poet laureate. So you don't want to miss that. And also remember that for Black History Month, Glide Memorial Church has a genealogist in residence, and his name is Alex Trapp Shabala. And for 4 weeks, every Sunday, Alex will hold community genealogy workshops. And out of those community genealogy workshops, you will be able to sign up for a one-on-one session with Alex as well, for a very specific time with him about your family. So please sign up for our Black History Month genealogy sessions for February, and share and change your lives. So thank you all again for coming today, for being a part of us, for writing your stories down. Maybe we have emboldened you and embraved you to tell your stories now, to take a hold of it, to not just take what was given to you, but to chart intentionally where you want your stories to go. Where is it going to go that now that you are in control of your family story? Thank you so much. My name is Marvin K. White. I'm your minister of celebration. And now the man from Mount Vernon, my brother, the one and only Vernon Bush, will lead us out with our closing song.
Thank you, Minister Marvin. Thank you for that wonderful sermon of reflection. And I want to say a good morning and a good week to you all. We're going to sing our community song, our final community song. We shall overcome today. Please come join with us. Sing. Here we go. We shall